Correspondent there. Let's go to Alan Mendoza, who is the founder and director of the think tank, the Henry Jackson Society. Alan, good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
What do you make of this intervention by MI5?
Well, I think I share Gordon's view, essentially, that it is highly unusual. It is clearly designed to act as a warning, to tell people that this sort of activity is underway, is ongoing, and that as a result, everyone needs to be vigilant and basically check their contacts very carefully.
And isn't this simply lobbying rather than spying?
Well, it's not spying, as Gordon was saying, it's not spying in the conventional sense. Nobody is going around trying to steal secrets or find information, but it's more about, I suppose, influence operations, but also picking up tidbits here and there. So, for example, in the course of conversations X and Y, might they have revealed details about Z? Just speaking to a friend, so to speak. So it's an information gathering exercise, which is clearly being directed by a foreign state, as the security services have said. That is a form of spying, although you wouldn't call it James Bond style spying.
I mean, no offence to Barry Gardiner, but what sort of information could someone possibly glean from an opposition MP like him?
Well, that's what's so interesting. This morning, for example, Greg Hands, I saw, did a tweet. He was the international trade minister for a while Barry Gardiner was shadow trade. And he was saying we shared a lot of information we had with Barry Gardiner as international trade to try and get some consensus on things. So actually they were getting hold, if you like, of things, or could have been getting hold. I have no idea, obviously, what Barry Gardiner may or may not have shared. That's for him to say. But it's possible that they could have had access to information that was privileged within certain circles at that time. And don't forget, finding information out before other people know it is useful if you are a country with an aggressive trade and commercial standpoint who then try and make use of it.
We did try to get hold of Barry Gardiner to see if he was interested in coming onto the programme. We didn't hear back. And just a quick word from you, if you wouldn't mind, on the pecking order, if you like, in terms of threats to the UK. Gordon talked about that changing, from terrorism, Russia, China. Is China now number one?
Well, here's the problem. They're all threats, and they're all growing in size, actually. I don't believe it's a case that, one is suddenly, diminishing and others taking place. I think what we've seen in the last few years is the multiplication of threats and others not getting any less serious in that way. So China has certainly moved up that pecking order in terms of the obviousness of what's happening. But much of that is our recognition and realization the Chinese have actually been up to hostile acts for a number of years, and we're playing catch up on them in that basis. That's the difference here, I think.
But our attitude has changed. I mean, talk about thawing in relations with China. When David Cameron was Prime Minister, George Osborne was Chancellor, it was all about this what do they talk about, a golden era with the British-Chinese relationship, making Britain China's best partner in the West. I mean, all these deals are being done for China to control some of our nuclear power plants. What's changed?
Well, what's changed is that people have woken up to the reality that while all that was going on, the Chinese were operating an Asian influence within Westminster. So it tells you the truth of the matter, which is that whatever we were trying to do, the Chinese had a very different view of the situation. They weren't interested in the Golden Partnership as much as what's best for them in terms of, trying to find out information. So the reality is that we have caught up to that, understanding the Chinese Communist Party is not an ally. It is, an adversary, or at the very least, it is a competitor. And as a result, this is not going, and everyone's woken up to the reality that golden age cannot pass, because you cannot have a golden age with a regime that is antithetical to your own beliefs in terms of liberal democracy and human rights. You start from that point.
Alan, thanks so much. Alan Mendoza, founder and director of the think tank, the Henry Jackson Society.